Good, very early morning, or whenever you watch this. The Ranter is back to go into yet another rambling diatribe of the news of the day. And this one is, I don't think it's going to be long. This is just the Ranter's concise opinion on Elon Musk taking over Twitter, and it's now running Twitter. And as this rather progressive, liberal-leaning Democrat, my opinion on the matter of him running Twitter is, I don't care. Now, that is apparently kind of a unique opinion, given the various people on my side of the aisle who are crying tears of blood over it, and being concerned over it, but I'm not. In fact, I'm more concerned on people's idolatry towards the wealthy, and even knowing Elon Musk's name, or him running whatever companies he's running with Tesla and SpaceX, etc. People act like they're on a first-name basis with him, and follow him and his behavior and his opinion and this and that, and it's, from my point of view, it's just another rich guy buying a company. Now, the pros and cons in this is, from what I'm observing from other people's opinion of it, is that he's going to be an advocate for free speech, which is always good, and that there's certain segments of the social media populace that goes onto Twitter who feel themselves and their opinions being restricted or chafed or censored. They might feel better with Elon Musk being there, and concerning their politics, which could be right-leaning or conservative, etc. And they feel maybe they're a little bit more open and a little bit easier to breathe, as it were, on Twitter, feeling that the equation is balanced, and the opinions of being allowed to speak opinions that might not necessarily be agreed upon by others, and not worrying about it being censored. See, I think there's a difference between getting censored and getting people to challenge your opinion. I think challenging an opinion is always good. I don't think anyone should really get silenced. And certain people over the past few years, given various topics, found themselves getting banned off of Twitter, getting suspended off of Twitter for expressing certain things that is maybe, we will say, at least contrary to either the public opinion or the public narrative that is being running around concerning various topics, like COVID-19 as an example, right? Now, I can understand the point of view of someone who gets suspended off of something like that, or being silenced over something like that, that I would not agree with that either. That, once again, if that is a contrary view, and you hold this other view, which is either more concrete or more established, then challenge that point of view. Ask questions, debate, but don't take it away. But that seems to be what people have been happening on there. But the flip side of the coin, with Elon Musk taking over Twitter, I'm seeing this, reaction from my side of things, and people are pearl clutching over it. And, oh no, what will happen? I mean, do they believe that what has been happening to conservative thinking is going to happen to liberal thinking? And if that's the case, they want to leave Twitter over it, or they're going to feel like, it's not going to be a healthy environment and so forth because of Elon Musk taking over. I mean, first of all, social media, it really shouldn't be that much of a drama, but it is, and it's kind of a sad state of affairs, but people put a lot of energy and time in social media. This is why you see so many social media arguments that can last for hours. Depending on if you're on Twitter or on Facebook, you'd see a trail of snipey little snarky comments going back and forth for hours, at least as if people on both sides of this conversation have nothing better to do with their lives. Now, I can admit to spending a good amount of time being online and being on social medias like the Middle America group on Facebook, and getting into debates and or arguments and so forth. But I don't go for hours because I have shit to do. Because I do have like a job, and I have to pay bills, and I have to live life, that sort of thing. So no, I don't really concern myself with having these back and forths. But that doesn't necessarily mean that just because you don't want these back and forths means that you should silence the other side so you never have to be bothered with it again. But some of the liberal Twitters that I see on Twitter, who were like lamenting as though, I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna cancel my Twitter account now because Elon Musk took over. Why? Because you don't want to see what people are going to be tweeting now that they're going to feel comfortable and have the freedom they believe to tweet? You don't want to see that? Well, you can mute them. You can block them. I've been doing that. I normally don't block people, and it's a very handful of times that I've ever blocked anybody. I really have to be really to the point if I don't want to listen to these people to block them. But in the past maybe a couple months, I've been seeing more tweets on conservative point of views of people that I don't follow, but I follow other people who follow it, so somehow they find themselves on my feed for no apparent reason. And that gets kind of annoying because it's a lot of conspiratorial crap and a lot of points of views that are not very grounded in reality, but nonetheless it's popular because a certain person said it, and they are nice, lovely sycophants who like to parrot what they say. But be that as it may, any of them that get annoys me too much, I just mute it or I just block it. I don't report it. I don't make any drama out of it. If it's if I every so often I will challenge these tweets, but there's never going to be any answers because they just want to throw shit out there and let other people react to it. So you add to that. But beyond that, I don't think anyone outside. There's a very minimum list of things that I would think is a criteria for completely removing somebody from a social media platform. And we'll get into that in a moment. And the other worry, of course, of Elon Musk taking over Twitter is that Donald Trump will come back. He's going to come back. He'll be back on Twitter. So? I have one caveat point when it comes to Donald Trump returning to Twitter, which I have against him returning to Twitter. Now, for those of you who follow my videos, you know that I am not a fan of Donald Trump. I find him to be an unqualified, disqualified piece of shit that should never have been near the White House, given his behavior, given his activities, given his words. And while he was president, he proved every one of my theories about that. That being said, I don't really have... 90% of me does not have a problem with Donald Trump coming back to Twitter. I never followed him when he was on Twitter. I made sure through the mechanics of Twitter, whenever I see somebody else post his tweets, I don't see what he says. The reason being is that I do not want to be a tick of attention that he gets. If somebody else is tweeting on whatever he's saying and they're saying it, but it's not showing his tweet, I will respond to them. I am not going to give him attention. Neither positive nor negative, because regardless of it being positive or negative, that's attention. I'm not going to give him that. So I don't mind him coming back. I'm not going to follow him. I'm not going to give a shit what he says. Except for the 10% that I do have a problem with him coming back. Is that Donald Trump, through his perception of reality control, the savant mastership that he has, that allows him to have the followers that he has, that hang on his every word, that lives vicariously off of his ability to live outside of reality and outside of consequence, no matter what he says or what he does, which people apparently love and want to live vicariously through and emulate. Donald Trump's words, ever so often, has inspired violence. I mean, we can go back to January 6th. Everything that led up to January 6th, from his tweets, his words concerning about the stolen election, and everyone should get pissed off about it, and January 6th, you better come down because it's going to be wild. And his words at the ellipse, talking about people just walk down to the Capitol, I will go with you. But you didn't. That which actually got him off of Twitter. But if that information isn't enough to prove that Donald Trump is at this point with his followers, that he can imply something and trigger someone to flip a switch in their head and go into violence, take some time back beyond January 6th to the shooting in El Paso, and remember that shooter's manifesto, which read like a tweet from Trump, using Trump's own words concerning the migrant invader. He callously, remorselessly, without thought, vomits out this shit towards his political enemies, towards anyone that treats him unfair. And out of 100 Trump supporters, 1,000 Trump supporters, 10,000 Trump supporters, out of the majority of these people, no matter how rabid they seem to be in support of him, who will never, take what he says, go to their car, drive somewhere, and hurt somebody over it, it may be one little isolated incident, 2 isolated incidents, 3 isolated incidents. Out of the population, no matter how big the scale is, you'll go from 1 to 10, etc., etc., etc. No matter how, depending how far his words incites people, that twists things around to make it seem like you're the ones that are the victim. He's not the victim. You're the victim. And what are you going to do about it? I don't know. I'll just imply something should happen, but I'm not going to say directly. I'll let you draw the own conclusions because we're all smart. That's the 10% of my concern about Trump coming back to Twitter. But as the scales go, regardless of that worry about 10%, it doesn't overrule the 90% of me not caring him coming back. So him coming back, fine. But that means for that 10%, for those who should, for those who are responsible, who think that they should watch what he says, then do so. Be a little concerned about that. One other thing I will mention about this is, since it could be incidental, could be a coincidence, but I've seen within the past day concerning the attack on Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband, how on Twitter, these conservative speakers and thinkers feel free to take this event where an 82-year-old man had his skull fractured by a hammer, and then they make jokes about it. They feel free not to feel any conscience. They assuage whatever sliver of guilt that they have in what they say, and by couching it surrounding Nancy Pelosi's politics, making little jokes about they should send social workers, that, what goes on in the House. They say all this other stuff so that they don't feel, that humanity that flinches when something horrible happens, because they don't want to feel that. They want to laugh. They want to be like their buddy Trump, who sociopathically has no empathy. They want to live like that, where there is no realm of consciousness, no realm of consequence, no realm of real reality, where you could just go on as greed on wheels. When it comes to Trump, and you watch how his reactions and responses towards certain things that come across him, be it against him or for him, whatever, and he responds like an emotionally stunted 13-year-old child. But he's so successful, right? He's a multi-millionaire. He's so popular. He was on TV. He was president of the United States. He succeeds in not being mature, not being responsible. Boy, don't we wish we were like that? And so all the followers that you will see on Twitter, and all the little sycophants who want to bask in his glory so that they can get something back out of it, as all sycophants and hangers-on and bootlickers do, they all act like that they shouldn't be responsible either with what they say or what they do. Because if Trump can get away with this, we can. Think back, prior to 2016. Think back to all the Republicans that you thought were responsible, that were mature, that you saw for years, that were established, that they had their right-wing points of view, fiscally conservative, socially conservative, pro-life, whatever, but all were respectable in their points of view. All couched their opinions, or couched their point of views, and couched their policies, and they have facts and figures and evidence, verification of the words, or wherever you want to debate on it back and forth or not, they actually come with statistics. They come with the verification of what they're trying to do, right? And now all that's gone. We don't need verification for anything. You just have to say it, and that's it. Just say it. That's all. I don't want to need no evidence, no facts, no figures, any of that. That is a offshoot of Trump. Fast forward for 2016 forward, all these responsible people, as I mentioned, no longer doing any of that, are they? And they latch on to conspiracy theories that any time before they would hide. They would cater to the wingnut tinfoil for a week, maybe in the Iowa primaries, and then they shove them back underneath the stairs because there's an actual job of governance to do, and none of that helps. You look at Twitter now. You look at what they said about Paul Pelosi. Without conscience, without humanity. making jokes over a man getting his skull broken. We will get into the Paul Pelosi thing more in depth. That was just a side example. Here's the thing, and that's the last thing I'm going to say about this Elon Musk thing. It says once again, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't bother me that he's running Twitter. I am not going to leave Twitter. I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch how people reveal themselves. How people will react and respond when they feel like no one is looking over their shoulder. These same people who now feel so liberated because they have Trump as an example that they can say whatever they want without consequence. Because before, in the land of responsibility, accountability, maturity, and adulthood, you don't say everything you don't say everything that comes out of your head. And not because of some sort of magical big brother that might slap you down, because of the social contract that we have between each other to have some fucking respect for each other. But no. So I'm going to watch people reveal themselves. And for you, decent, good people who are conservative, who are Republican, or who are fiscally conservatives, or socially conservative, who are pro-life, nonetheless, who will disagree with me. But I know you are good people. I want you to also watch those around you who are also happy that Elon Musk has taken over. Watch how they respond. Watch how they act and react and behave. And then take a moment and just have some self-reflection as how they react around you. That you, as a good person, would never react to like that. Just food for thought. Relatively short video, because relatively short point of view. Elon Musk, only Twitter. Don't care. More to come. Have a good night for now.